We're here at the old Welsh Tract Baptist Church in Newark, Delaware, and apparently the first Baptist church in the state of Delaware. And the building behind us was built in 1746, and it was a rebuild from the original church building that was built 30 or 40 years before that. In the early 1700s, 16 members of a Welsh Baptist church in Wales sailed for America, and they were granted a large tract of land by William Penn here in what is now Newark, Delaware, and that's where the name Welsh Tract Church came from. Of course, the church building here, a story is that during the Revolutionary War, a cannonball passed through the auditorium, went in one side, out the other, and no one was hurt. So in this cemetery, of course, at that time, we have a mix of Baptist history as well as American history, because there were some notable men, a part of this church, that participated in the Revolutionary War. Happens to be June 6th, today, D-Day, and certainly a day of remembrance for us as Americans. I'll point out something across the street from the church. There's one old house standing, and apparently the old maps show 6 houses across the street, of which only one is standing. And in those houses, apparently during the Revolutionary War, one of the owners of the houses gave a place of refuge, I guess you could say, to General Washington, General Nathaniel Greene, and Marquis de Lafayette during a terrible rainstorm. They had been spying on the British in Chesapeake Bay up on a nearby mountainside, and they came down here and were temporarily given a place of safety from the storm. So a lot of interesting history right here with the old Welsh Tract Baptist Church. Of course, the cemetery here with many graves dating back to through the early 1700s. Over here is the grave of Colonel Thomas Couch, and he was arrived in Delaware 1745 and passed away here in 1788. And notable about Thomas Couch here is that during the Battle of Couch's Bridge in September 3rd, 1776, he watched his house, grist mill, being burned down by none other than the General Cornwallis of the British. And for 5 days, Cornwallis took his house and set up his headquarters there, actually stabling his horses in his bedroom. And so this is on the Great Retreat in 1776, as Washington's moving his army further and further back west, and the British are pressing forward. But Couch and others, they endured that trying year, 1776, which culminated, of course, with Washington, with that brave battle of Trenton and him crossing the Delaware. And later, after the war, Couch lived with the joy of having endured the war on the side, of course, of the Americans, and was repaid for the loss of his house during that war. So Welsh Tract Baptist Church, great Baptist history here, great American history, Baptist history, American history, of course, uniting during the years of the Revolutionary War. So some interesting things here. This building, 1776, and an interesting history as the Welsh came to America seeking religious freedom, an interesting spot where they established one of their first churches.